There is no secret or mystery about anything to do with any Russian oligarch in my professional or private life.
Do you think that the fact that you've seemingly consistently associated with maybe people who have been labeled as problematic is coincidental?
I'd like to talk about my outlook on life, what I bring to the university.
Thank you. I think that covers a lot of the bases there, and obviously our audience can make up their minds whether or not they agree with you on that point. I think we'll move it on to a different topic. William Hague, your opponent one of your opponents rather, in this next election, has mentioned that the country wants or wanted some transparency on your dealings with the Russian oligarch Deripaska. Do you think this has been provided?
There is no secret or mystery about anything to do with any Russian oligarch in my professional or private life.
Right. So would you maintain that your meetings with Deripaska had nothing to do with EU trade on restrictions with aluminium?
Absolutely not.
Right. So I suppose then the next question...
I'm not quite sure what a conversation about aluminium between us would consist of. But anyway, I mean, no is the answer.
Do you think that the fact that you've seemingly consistently associated with maybe people who have been labeled as problematic is coincidental?
Look, I'm sorry. I want to talk to you about the university. Right. Let's leave all this other stuff to the newspapers.
I do.
Thank you very
I do
much.
think it is.
I'd like to talk about my outlook on life, what I bring to the university.
Yeah.
I'm not following trails laid by my political opponents in various newspapers.
I'll pass it to Oliver. I do think, though,
I think we should concentrate, if you don't mind,
yes, we will.
on the substance of this.
Yeah.
Because, as I say, I'm not going to follow trails
laid
by my political opponents through various tabloid newspapers.
As I was
Thank you very much.
I'll pass it to Oliver. I do think, though, that the students might be interested in. That's the only reason.
I think that what students are interested in is the future of the university, the future of our country, our economic prospects, and how we're going to turn this country round after what has been a pretty sorry decade just gone.
Want your head and hair to feel cool and clean? Been going to extreme measures to cool your head off? Then get yourself a Manscaped. Don't be like Ollie and take your scalp from zero to hero with the new scalp buffer now. Use the discount code LOAF to get your 20% off.
Thank you. I think,
thank you. Yeah, we'll move it on in that case. I'd like to talk about perhaps the university's relation to the EU in specific, the university's relation to institutions over there. Of course, you've been staunchly pro-European for a long time. How do you think we should proceed in our relations with the EU, both as a country and as a university post-Brexit?
Well, I think it's got to go in stages. First of all, I think we've got to rebuild the mutual trust and respect that we've lost, given the way that successive British governments have behaved in recent years towards the European Union. There's a lot of rebuilding of trust and basic respect. Secondly, we've got to try and chip away at some of the major trade barriers, disadvantages and costs that we've taken on as a result of Brexit. You may have heard the governor of the Bank of England speaking last night in London, where he said that economically Brexit weighs very heavily on us as a country. You know, not for him to take sides in the referendum one way or the other, but he is a very key player in our economy. And for him to say that our economy as a whole continues to be seriously weighed down by our departure from the European Union and its vast single trading market, means that where it's possible to reduce or mitigate the costs and the risks from Brexit, we've got to do so. Thirdly, where we can re-establish our part in key European programs. For example, the Horizon Science program, which has been a source of enormous sort of strength as well as finance, the collaboration between researchers, academics in this university and others in European universities, that ecosystem of academic research is absolutely vital. And so we've got to do everything we can to remake and to restore our place in those ecosystems as fast as we can. In the longer term, there are, for example, areas of activity, collaboration, policy like defense and security, or energy supply and generation, or combating climate change, where it makes complete sense for us to work more closely with our European neighbours. Now, if, as we go through these stages of rebuilding and restoring and repairing the relationship between us and our biggest export market in the world, which is Europe's single market, if beyond that, Europe changes, attitudes in this country change, and there's a growing convergence of view that we can, if there's potential for it, rethink our longer term relationship, then so be it. But that's not going to come easily or quickly, either on our part or that of the European Union. I'm not following trails laid by my political opponents in various newspapers.
Do you think that the fact that you've seemingly consistently associated with maybe people who have been labeled as problematic is coincidental?
There is no secret or mystery about anything to do with any Russian oligarch in my professional or private life.
So long as there are no strings, you would be happy taking money from anyone without ethical limits. No strings.
No strings. I think that what students are interested in is the future of the university.